Get those wonderful toys. I can't wait to show you my toys.
This figure was part of a motherload that I received in the mail today. 10-figure package of Neca figures from Amazon.com. You can see 2 Machikos, Hornhead, Broken Tusk, and then 3 of each of the Ultimate Aliens. Let's see what they look like inside. Hey everybody, this is D Hunter bringing you another action figure review. Today we're going to be looking at the 7-inch scale Neca Predator figure Machiko. Her full name is Machiko Noguchi. I've been looking forward to this figure for a really long time. She was supposed to be released more than a year ago, but Neca has been going through some factory issues and all of their lines have been delayed. Finally that's behind us and we'll be receiving Predator and Alien waves like we used to. She is known as the human Predator. She's very unique, a human that lives among the predators and has kind of become one of them, shares their code of honor and hunting. This figure was in the comics in the early 90s, I believe. The character from Alien vs. Predator was sort of loosely based off of her, how she got marked on the forehead after helping a predator kill an alien. I believe that her origin story is something like the aliens were hunting xenomorphs on her home planet. Her family was killed. Long story short, the predators took her with them and welcomed her as one of them. I believe she helped them kill an alien to perhaps earn that. The other 2 figures in the wave are from her comic series as well. Really looking forward to opening this figure. I did buy an extra one with the intent of putting her head on a Vasquez Colonial Marines body. Now I'm really excited for these, so let's check it out. Now here are all 10 of the figures out of the packaging. Now here she is, everybody, Machiko. Been waiting for this figure for a really long time. Of all the figures, of all the waves to be delayed, why this one? This figure I've been looking forward to for years. I've been aware of Machiko since I was a kid. I remember when the AVP movie came out, I was so upset how it was like blasphemy how they referenced her with such a horrible substitute. This figure should have been released last year in like October, and here it is, November, finally have it in hand. Beautiful figure, so unique. That character has always intrigued me, Machiko, the human predator. A predator female that lives among the predators, a human female that lives among the predators, hunts with them, honors their code of honor. Makes you kind of wonder, lots of inappropriate questions. But she's also a total badass. I've always loved it because I don't think there's ever been another human that has lived among the predators and joined them. I mean, look at her, she has the biomask, the wrist gauntlets, the shoulder cannon, netting, fishnets. Of course, that's super sexy on a human. Just absolutely excited to finally have this figure in hand. Looking straight at her, my camera is sitting slightly taller than the figure, so I put her on a little stand. The mask seems like it's kind of like looking downward a little bit, and with her hair you can't really push her head up any further. I don't actually think this is a problem. Just an observation from this particular angle. The gun does not fit in her hand very well. I have it just sort of sitting on top right now, but minor little issues. So this figure, gorgeous. Love we're finally getting her. It's been so long, such a long wait. Her mask looks great. It's small, kind of feminine. I imagine one day Neca will probably give us a female predator, but that's a ways away. Here is her unmasked face. Not exactly sure what nationality she is. She is Asian. She has the mark on her forehead. You can barely see it. Where the, I believe, Broken Tusk marked her right before he died, and then she joined his clan. Her mask, a lot smaller than the average predator mask, has these sort of wire things hanging off. Inside, actually pretty nicely detailed. Fits in her head pretty nicely. Her hair kind of tucks it in there and holds it in nicely. Push it on tight. It's not falling off very easily. Yeah, I mean, it won't stay on if I pick it up from the mask first, but it's not falling off at all. Pretty nice. Now this Machiko figure, I must say, I absolutely love it. I'm not disappointed at all. It's meeting my expectations. Looks simply great. I'm so excited to finally have this character. Been wanting her for a long while. Her accessories that she comes with would be one alternate hand, which is the one that she came with, was a fist. I pulled it out. Wasn't super happy about pulling it out. It felt very questionable, but it came out okay. New one went in, no problem at all. It's the open-handed one that holds her gun. It's kind of in the way of her wrist blades a little bit. Her gun itself, a really large handle here. It doesn't really stay in her hand well as is. You can sort of shove her finger, her trigger finger, into the little hole right here, but it really does not work very well. Kind of a fail on this. I mean, I can push it in, it just comes, and it's just so fragile and delicate over here. This gun is kind of a waste as far as being able to be used properly, which is really okay by me. I'm still so happy to have this figure. I can't tell you, I'm super excited and stoked. I'm repeating myself over and over and over again, but I'm a huge fan of this character. I've read the books, although it's been quite a long time. Very happy to finally have her. Check out her hair, dreadlocks. Looks really, really nice. So one thing I do want to talk about is quality control. I did purchase 2 of these figures with the intention of making a Machiko Marine, even though I know she never actually joined the Colonial Marines. She has worked with them. As far as I know, she's never actually worn that outfit, but I wanted to do that pretty bad, so I bought a second one to use her head there. And that left me with a second Machiko body. I didn't really know what to do with it, and I still don't know what to do with it. I threw a Vasquez head on it just because it looks absolutely ridiculous. The skin tones do not match. But I was talking about quality control. Now, no real issues on this figure. The paint looks good. The mask fits on just fine. The wrist gauntlets are very fragile, but that's not a quality control issue. It's just sort of the way it is. But you can see how far they stick out on this figure. And guess what? They actually, just like most other Predators, do come out a little bit. Although it's just really unnerving messing with these things. I'm going to be careful and put those back off screen. This one here, they look so small. This was the first one I opened. I was like, what the heck is going on here? And I tried to pull them out. Once I opened the second figure, I realized they're not just supposed to be stuck like this. And one of them ended up breaking. So I glued it back on because they cannot come out of here. And I would have to take this whole thing apart. Which probably could be done, but it's not worth all that. This is an extra body that really I simply just bought just to use the head. Vasquez on here is ridiculous, but it seemed like the most logical thing to do since I have a ton of extra Vasquez heads, and she's a badass. It makes sense putting her with the Predators, although I'm open to finding out other ideas of what to do with this. So beyond that, the quality control is just fine, but let me tell you, I would be very disappointed if I had only bought one Machiko and her wrist gauntlets not only were broken, but were screwed up and pushed in there so far they don't even come out. They're way farther inside of there than this one is, even put inside. So just be aware of that. They're factory issues. They must have had a lot of other quality control problems before this. So in order to do her height, I went ahead and put one of the empty packages on the table so she's even with the camera. Now let's see exactly how tall she is. It looks like about 6.5 inches from the top of her head. Just to give you a good idea, this is the size of her compared to a Predator. You can't even see the top of his head. They're around 8 inches, so almost 1.5 inches taller than her. I absolutely love that she's so small among them. That makes her so much more unique. It's just one of her characteristics. I understand the Predators used to pick on her a lot, and she had to prove herself even extra harder than a typical hunter. Next up, let's look at the articulation. So she's got her head, moves around, down that far, up about that far. The hair prevents it from going up very far, and really is not going to be able to go all around all the way, but you shouldn't really need to. She's got her plasma cannon here, up, down. Doesn't Don't know if it has side articulation. Yeah, it does. Okay, cool. It goes around. They've done a much better job making these sturdier over the years. Her backpack cannon does not seem to come off. Shoulders, got some armor on top. Kind of soft. It moves around, kind of comes away from her body. It's attached down here, so it doesn't hinder you from going over her shoulder. She can go completely up like this. She's got her bicep swivel, as well as the shoulder goes. Appears. No, it's just a bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows, always a favorite of mine. She can scratch her head, I love it. Wrist gauntlets that go. Jeez, they're just so fragile. These will so break. In, out. Probably will not be pulling them out or messing with them very often. They're less likely to break if I keep them in, which I probably always will do. Much better than the other pair that I have, though. Sorry, I keep trying to focus on the stuff in the background. I probably shouldn't even put that stuff in here. Wrist goes around. It does have some up and down swivel like this, but it can barely be used. You can swap it out with the other hand, which I'm not going to do right now because I frankly just don't want to break it. I'm never going to use these fisted hands anyway. They're just going to go into the fodder pile. Her gun fits in there, but as I showed you, it doesn't really do very good. This one actually is the better of the two figures, the hand. It is a nice looking weapon though. I kind of want to see her with this instead though. And what do you know? It looks like it's going to fit a little better than the other one. Or maybe not. Okay, it's no better. No ab crunch. She's got not an ab crunch, but a midsection ball joint. Up. There's down. Up. Pretty nice, actually. It moves around quite a bit. Then she's got ball joints on her thigh area. Can move pretty remarkably that far back, that far forward, that far out. I feel very good about it. It feels sturdy. Doesn't feel like it's going to break at all. Double jointed knees. Might have to work on getting that one unstuck off screen. Okay, or it's the little back of the guard thing that prevents you from being able to fully use that, the back of her knee pad. Then you got her feet, down, up, toe articulation. Kind of seems a little unnecessary, but always accepted. A rock around, very nice. Not that hard to make her stand. She's not top heavy by any stretch of the imagination. She's pretty light. Her feet are small, but just take your time and just flatten them out. It does pretty good. Now let's check out some comparison pictures with some predators. Here she is with the rest of the current wave. On the left-hand side, we've got Broken Tusk. In the middle, Machiko. On the far right, we've got Hornhead. These figures are amazing. Machiko is probably my favorite of them, but boy, these other two are really nice as well. You can see how tall they are compared to her. They're every bit of 8 inches, and she's about 6.5, and I absolutely love that. I love how different physically she looks in the Predators, the contrast, and it just makes you imagine how hard it would be for her to fit in with them. Here she is with the previous wave, Series 17 of Predator figures. Like I said earlier, these came out last February. If you do the math, that is, I believe, 21 months. Really a shame that delay happened, especially for this particular wave. But I'm so glad they're back on track, finally. This is one of my all-time favorites. I believe him to be the Predator from the 2010 Alien vs. Predator video game. If I'm wrong, please correct me below. He has sort of an alien-esque mask. Absolutely love that guy, but once again, see how tall they are compared to her. Here she is compared to some other recent Predator releases. These are the only two Predator figures they've released ever since the factory delays. started. On the left-hand side, we've got The Fugitive from the recent The Predator film, and on the far right, we've got Ultimate Ahab, the engineer hunter. Ahab is also from the comics in some of the same stories that she was in. Absolutely love the detail and quality control for the most part of the new figures. I'm including before they switch factories, Series 17, absolutely amazing detail, gorgeous figures. Fugitive, beautiful detail, articulation is amazing. Ultimate Ahab, I thought I wasn't going to need him because I had the other Ahab. Boy, he's so nice. I'm so happy to have him. And then Series 18 keeps that up. They're just outdoing themselves with each figure they release. I cannot wait for the upcoming figures. We've got the upgrade from the Predator. We've also got the two emissary Predators that are in human fatigues. We've got the Bad Blood 2-pack. We've got Clan Leader Ultimate coming up soon. And I cannot wait to find out what Series 19 is. I don't believe they've shown us that yet, but it's probably going to be a Kenner wave if I were to guess. Now here's what I did with my extra Machiko head. I made a Colonial Marine Machiko. I know that never happened in the comics, but I want to do that for a really long time. I've got probably 7 of these BDU Vasquez and put a bunch of different various heads on them. She's going to be a badass alien fighting killer. Her skin tone does not match the body at all. Vasquez is very dark skin and Machiko is very, very light and pale. Maybe one day I'll paint the skin. It's not going to happen anytime soon if I do. It also made the Vasquez head look absolutely ridiculous on her very light-skinned body. I have an extra Vasquez I plan to put a Lin from the Alien vs. Predator Capcom game head on top of and make another Marine that way. Hopefully those figures come out before the year ends. Here is Machiko next to a bunch of the other Alien and Predator female figures. We've got Vasquez, Shaw, Machiko, Newt, Amanda Ripley, Ellen Ripley, Vickers, and Lambert. Can't wait to see who's coming up next after Lynn. Here is the Machiko Marine with all of the other various custom female Marines that I have made. Here is Machiko fighting an alien warrior. Notice she's once again quite a bit shorter than him, which is absolutely fantastic. Now this Machiko figure is a great character, great figure of a great character. I would highly recommend get it while the getting is good. This figure will probably be very expensive and sold out quick, expensive over time. Look at all the previous NECA releases. They're extremely hard to find nowadays unless you get Chinese bootlegs, which are always suffering from some quality control issues. This figure is fantastic. I love her. I'm so happy they finally made her. I think it's such an interesting character, such a great figure. The detail is fantastic. I love it. So excited to finally put her on my shelf with my other comic Predators and my other one-off sort of. Just can't tell you how much I'm happy to have it, how excited I am about this. I hope you guys get yours. If the figure execution may be more like an 8, but I'm giving this figure a 9 with no hesitation just because I like it so much. It's been a really long time since I looked forward to an Alien Predator figure this much, and I was really upset when the delay hit, and month after month after month there was just no change, no progress. Finally, here it is. I'm excited for this figure, and I'm also excited because we're finally going to get future NECA figures rolling in, figures that we've seen for a year and we've been waiting for. One other thing I wanted to look at was the packaging, just really the back side. I know we have the 3 figures from this wave, but it shows a little comic artwork there, and it gives a little story about her. It says, mankind's 2 ultimate nightmares come together in mortal combat, and whoever wins, we lose. On the remote planet Ryushi, a small ranching community becomes an unwilling participant in a deadly ritual. Extraterrestrial predators have seeded Ryushi with alien eggs in order to create the ultimate hunt. But what the predators don't know is an alien queen egg is among those they've sent as potential hunting stock, and when the predators arrive, the hunters become the hunted amidst a monumental swarm of aliens, and they may need to turn to the very same humans they regard as little more than potential trophies to give them any hope of survival. Love Machiko, love her story, love this figure, recommend it. Can't tell you how much I do, and can't tell you how happy I am to have it and how much I've enjoyed my little bit of time handling it so far. Thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, click like, subscribe if you want to see more. Expect videos of the other figures from this wave to come out soon. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys soon. Now, at one point it felt like we would never get a Machiko figure, so I took this Witchblade figure, gave it some Predator weapons, and I kind of used it as a fill-in for Machiko temporarily. I usually had her hanging out with this behind her. This is from a smaller scale of Predator figures, and it almost worked for her as like a bed. It looks like the new Machiko. Doesn't quite fit on there. It's going to be a little bit bigger than the Witchblade figure. Come on, here we go. Size-wise, they're not too different. She almost fits on there. This is for some 3.75 inch Predator figures.